everyone, welcome to Nicole's Needlework. Today is Sunday, April 7th, and it's right around 1 p.m. Let's see, I do have a couple finishes, some works in progress, some knitting to share. Yesterday I went stitching with a few of the South Carolina stitchers. There's a Facebook group if you're interested. That was a lot of fun. I met some new people and got to hang out with some that were there last time, like Kate, who also does FlossTube videos. Her channel name is Ice Maiden. So that was, like I said, it was a lot of fun. So I finished Plum Street Samplers, Soul Sisters. And this is on 32 count Bramble by Picture This Plus. It's by Plum Street Samplers, and I stitched it 1/2, and I'm super happy with the coverage. I think it turned out great. So happy with that. And then my other little finish is Darling Buds of May by Blackbird Designs. And this is on 40 count Legacy 1/2. And the only change I made was I switched chamomile, and I used chamomile instead of burlap, Gentle Arts. So happy with those. And then I've kind of been like starting a lot of things and kitting a lot of things. I don't know why I was in a kitting and starting mood lately. And sorry if I was kicking the table. One thing I started was A Savior's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I had a big piece of 40 count vintage mocha. Actually, I had a linear half instead of a fat half where it's wide. It's the linear where they cut the yard in half vertically. Trying to explain that. But what I ended up doing, because sometimes there's a lot of sizing on Zweigart linens, so I actually threw this in the wash machine and dryer to soften it up, and it's so much nicer. I love it. So there's my teeny tiny little start. Not much, and I'm just using the DMC and the Weeks, and I shamelessly copied Quirks and Stitches, her thread card. I thought it was so cool, so I went on Excel and I'm figuring things out, trying to figure it out. It's definitely not as nice as the one she makes, but I thought I'd try it. So I just put the name and then the threads, and I just drew in the little symbols. So please forgive me, Jen, for copying you. I hope it's okay. I just love the idea. And I probably won't do that, for every project, but maybe ones that use DMC and stuff. So I just thought it was a neat thing. Thought I'd try it out. And I actually went on kittenstitcher.com and got the PDF. And I'm actually liking stitching from my iPad lately. I use a program called Goodreader. So I'll put the PDF into like Google Drive and then transfer it to Goodreader. And so I have like a library here of my patterns, and you can put it in the cloud so you can highlight and keep track on different devices. So let me see if I can find one. I don't think I have. I was going to try and open up a freebie, but I'll just go to a cover page. So for instance, here's Barbara Anna's Snooty Parrots, and sorry, technical difficulties here. So if you tap on it, this little menu pulls up, and then you can highlight. It'll ask you if you want to create an annotated copy or save to this copy, so your annotations can go to a new file, or you can annotate it right on this file. I'll go ahead and create an annotated copy, and then you can highlight. It'll allow you to highlight on here if you want to keep track. So anyway, I like that program, good reader. I use it for my knitting patterns also. So that's what I've been doing with this. So I can even look at it on my phone. I also have an iPad mini, which is what I'm recording on now. And my iPad mini I usually take everywhere with me because it's so light and portable, and I'll stitch from there. So and that is a Savior's Praise. Another thing I worked on a little bit was Plum Street Samplers, Pink House Sampler. And this is what I've gotten done. Not much. Just working on the border. I got the little Bo Peep done. And this linen was my 40 count Park City blend that I washed. So it's probably just a cream now because I think I washed all the dye out. That's all right. And I'm just using the called for threads. Dropping. Pretty. All right. And another one I decided to start is, I've loved this for so long, Mary Gale by the Scarlet Letter. Look at those funky people. And I was gonna get the silks for it, but I just needed so many silks that it just really wasn't worth it. So I decided to just use DMC. And I'm using my thread drops that I love so much. I got a set of these from Fire Poppies. So she is carrying these now. These colors are so pretty. And I just have a small start. This is either 45 count or 46 count Vintage Autumn Gold by Lakeside Linens. I got this in Stitches in Alexandria, Virginia. And I haven't really counted it out. I tried counting it out, and I think it was like 22 and a half or something, so I think it might be 45 count. But that's what I've gotten done so far. Not much. But these bright colors are so pretty. And I thought they looked pretty on this linen. And I'm not, so in the pattern, it's done over 1 tent stitch, and it's done over 1 on 25 count. So I'm doing it over 2, and this whole background is stitched. I'm not stitching the background. So that's why I got the linen, kind of similar color to the background. So another thing I worked on just a little bit, not much, was Stacy Nash Spring at Hollyberry Farm. Just got a little bit of that done. I finished the border. I'm sure, I don't know why lately I can't stitch borders. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I'm pretty sure it didn't meet up. And it took a while for it to finally meet up. But that's all I have, really, is the border. I got that done. And this is 36 count Legacy by Picture This Plus. And I'm doing it 1 over 2 with the called for threads. Pretty. So that is one I want to get back to while it's still spring. It's almost summer here in South Carolina. Our spring started probably around February, March, and then it got cold. So March was kind of chilly, or the beginning of April was kind of chilly. Now it's starting to get warm. It's starting to get humid. So another start I have is, and this one I've been working on a lot, is Sarah Casey Unwin, 1848, by Chessie and Me. And this border did not match either, so I had to rip out, but I got it matching now. And when we went stitching yesterday, I worked on the words, this tree, and then I had to go to downtown Charleston to pick up my 16-year-old because he was playing in a Super Smash Brothers tournament at the College of Charleston. So I was hanging out downtown waiting for him. I thought it was going to be like an hour maybe. Ended up being like 2.5 hours, but that's okay. I got a lot of stitching done. So I've got the perfect setup in my car now. I have a stitching light. I'll sit on my steering wheel. I'll put my iPad on top of that, and I just sit there and stitch. Doesn't matter. So I watched all Priscilla and Chelsea's videos yesterday. Got caught up on them. And I'm just using the called for threads, 1/2. Love these reds. I love these colors. So having a lot of fun with that. Let me see. What else? Oh, I did work on His Eyes on the Sparrow just a little bit. And this is 40 Count Legacy by Picture This Plus. And I just got a tiny bit done. I worked on the lamb, some of the flowers, and that was about it. It had actually crossed my mind to restart this on 36 count because I'm loving 36, and I'm like, that would be like 6 times restarting this, and I'm like, I can't do it. I would probably be committed if I did that, right? Let's see. So, last thing I worked on a little bit. Dorothy Walpole by the Scarlet Letter. And I have been working on these eyelets for like 4 years now. I think I started this in 2012. So this is one of my oldest whips. I ran out or lost or something, this cream color. I don't know what happened. So I decided to order more. I looked everywhere for it. Ordered more of this Soie d'Alger from Versoie. So I put one length of thread in that. Hold on, the cat. All right, there she is. Ginger. She was determined to get in. Okay, so let me show the whole picture of this. So that's the whole picture of Dorothy. So I am here on this eyelet band. There's more eyelet stitches in the alphabet. I have to fill in satin stitches in some of these flowers, and then I'll be done. So I'm kind of determined to get this finished this year. And this is on 40 Count Vintage Pecan Butter by Lakeside Linens. All using the Soie d'Alger. Really want to get that done. So when I ordered that thread, I couldn't just order one thread, right? I mean, that would be silly. So I also ordered Lucy's new shawl, or Sna Shawl. by Samplers Remembered. So Brenda, Sampler Stitcher on Instagram, started this and loved it. So I kitted it up. I think this is vintage metal rue that I had in my stash, and it actually calls for ruby slippers, ruby slipper by Gentle Arts, and faded rose. And I looked through my stash, and cherry cobbler was similar, and this colonial rose by Classic Color Works. So I threw those in there. So my, maybe that's not it. So in Jane Stanwyck's, I had a ruby slipper. Ah, I'm losing it. I'm gonna take it out. I think they match pretty well. The ruby slipper's a little more orange, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm really trying to use what I have in my stash. Trying to get back on track, get back on my budget. I still love this. Oh man, I got a lot of good stuff here to start soon. So I had this pattern before and sold it. I do this often. Sell, get again, sell, get again. Heritage Sampler, and seeing Linda Jo's Progress Pretty Southern. I'm like, you know, I think I really want to get that again. So I'm using a piece of 40 count vintage exemplar from my stash with the call for threads. And I'd already had these before, so I didn't buy anything new but the pattern. And another pattern I bought again is Caroline Broomhead. I started this before and I don't know, I wasn't happy with it, so I sold it on Stash and Load, and a couple people have been showing it again, Stash Sisters, and someone else I saw showed it, and I'm like, oh, I really like it. I shouldn't have sold it. So I don't have all the threads, or they're in other projects. So I pulled some of the DMC and was matching them up with some other silks I have. So this one I don't really have a great match for. Sorry, the sun is just coming out and it's bright now. That one's pretty close. This is more green, this is more blue. And then Blue Ice was one that, and this is more blue. So they're kind of in between. So I think I'm leaning towards the Blue Ice by Dinky Dyes. And this is Silken Colors, Green Leaves. But I think I'm leaning towards this one. And there was one other, where did I put it? Hold on. Okay, I got one other pattern, and this one I actually didn't have before, and that is Liberty's Welcome. And when I went to stitch yesterday, I asked Susan from Fire Poppies if she could bring some linen for me to look at, and she brought this, I'm probably going to butcher the name, Ligonier Latte, 36 count, and that's what this calls for, and what this calls for. So I think these threads kind of hard to see them. On the 36 count, I think I'm gonna like a lot better than what I was doing. I think the linen I had was really peachy, really orangey, and it just didn't look right. But that's not gonna work, is it? It's hard to do things like I'm dropping everything, but I think they're gonna look really pretty on here. So that is a future start. Throwing things around. I thought I was gonna be more organized. I'm not. I need to get it together. So for the Liberty's Welcome, I'm using the needlepoint ink silks on this also. So I think they'll be really pretty. So that's another future start. So yeah, I've been kidding like crazy. I don't know why. I'm preparing for something. I don't know. So anyway, oh, I do have a little bit of knitting to share. So I've been working on this Impressionist Shawl by Helen Stewart, and I am in the middle of a row. I'm almost to the, because it was a mystery knit along, I'm almost to the 4th clue. It's been out for a long time, so everyone knows what it looks like now. But I'm up to 450 stitches on the needle, so each row is now taking quite a bit of time. But the yarn I'm using again is Madeline Tosh Merino Light, not Tosh Merino Light, Twist Light, and this is Leopard. And I don't have much of this left. This is Birch Gray, Twist Light. I don't think it calls for one more stripe of white. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. And then this is, I can never remember the name of this yarn. It's like, I wanna say Sock Monkey, and the color name is Meet Me in Scarlet. It's that pretty pink. I love this pink. So I had ripped back, because I was not happy with the lace. I ripped back to these stripes, and I was gonna like rip it out and just use the yarn for something else. Well, I was looking at a picture of it, and I decided to get it out again, try one more time, because the way you do the yarn overs is different for this. So this is like yarn over before a knit, and this is yarn over before purl, and these are still a little bigger, but it's not as bad as it was. So I was determined to try again. So I'm much happier with it now. And these are my Chow Goose US 6 4.5 millimeter, and they're interchangeables that I got at Luna Lola. So I love these needles. Love them. And then I started watching a floss tuber called Crazy Sock Lady, and she was just working on some plain vanilla socks, and it kind of inspired me. Just, I love having a sock on the go, you know, just put a few rounds in and it's quick and easy. And she also said she was trying to go through her already caked up stash, so her already wound yarn balls or skeins of yarn. And I thought that's a good idea, because I have so many already wound up that are just sitting there. And so I grabbed this skein, and this is by Life in the Long Grass, and it's Garden Party. So I'm just doing toe up, did a Turkish cast on. Thought I did 16 stitches, or 14, I did 16, but that's all right. Turkish cast on, magic loop, and then I just did up to, how many stitches am I doing? I did 32 on each side, so 64. Right? I think so. 34. Yeah. or no, 34 on each side. So 68 stitches total. But I'm liking this. It's really fun, springy colors. And I've got my little, the Gnome Knitter DPN Cozy, or Magic Loop Cozy. And this is just in my pretty cheap bag. So that is it. That's what I've been up to. Kitting, starting, and then doing a little knitting here and there. So I'll probably post again in maybe 2 to 3 weeks. My dad is coming and his birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Dad. And his wife Kathy's birthday is actually the day after, so happy birthday, Kathy. My mother-in-law is supposed to be coming also, so we're gonna have a busy couple weeks, and so hopefully 2 to 3 weeks I will be able to post again. Show notes can be found on my blog, nicolesneedlework.com, and I can be found on Instagram and Ravelry at Nicole's Needlework. Hope you guys have a great few weeks. Have a great beginning or middle of spring. Ours is ending. It's almost summer, like I said. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.